But Apple and Microsoft are not the average companies, number one. You know, you're talking number one and number two in the industry.
Caterpillar.
Those are also not, you're looking at the cream of the crop, the top.
The
You're not
Fortune
looking at the
500.
average.
Yeah, I mean, that's only.
No, Apple, Google, Microsoft are the epitome of the Fortune 500. And even if you look at it, why is Apple carrying $80 billion in cash on this balance sheet?
They don't know where to spend it.
Apple has very astute management. They have a strong idea where to spend it.
Because it does want to invest in crap that's overvalued, that's worthless. It wants to keep something more real.
What it is a call option. It's a call option on an uncertain future. They know, it's an uncertain economic future, and Apple has a very special predicament. Apple has more competition than practically any company in the world. They compete with their own vendors, and their own vendors are actually beating them. But you don't see that in the media. If you look at this phone right here, this phone is made by Samsung. Samsung, this is a new Galaxy 2, the upgraded phone. They provide the processor, they build it, but they don't design it. They co-designed it. They provide the processor, the memory, and the screen for, LG provides a screen for the iPhone. And Apple competes with Samsung and LG. So Samsung now came up with better screens, better chips, and better memory. But they're not giving it to Apple because Apple competes with them. They've actually created a superior phone from a technological perspective. Apple now sues its number one vendor, and its number one vendor is now suing Apple. That type of business is unsustainable. It's it's a lot of uncertainty in the future. So if you have cash, do you spend it or do you put it in the bank in case you need to do something with it? So so that's the reason Apple uses the cash as a call option. That's for Apple, and there's each and every one of those a particular situation. But in general, I find that the Fortune 500 is on a decline. If you look at margins are shrinking, revenues are not growing, input costs are increasing. There are no pluses from a fundamental perspective to make me want to plow money to the S&P 500. Plus, interest rates are bound to spike. Once you have the firestone kick off in Europe, interest rates go up. When people can fall, interest rates don't drop, they go up. When they go up, that means that you're going to have higher cap rates. You can have lower real estate values. Lower real estate values mean anybody who holds a real estate takes a loss from a wealth perspective. So there's a lot that goes into it, and none of it is positive from a fundamental global macro perspective, the way I see it.
What do you think, just looking at a bigger picture here, to get people to reset and realize really what they have, what it's worth? In other words, everybody has an idea of what things are worth, but it seems like we're all a little bit disconnected from reality of what certain things are really worth, whether you have real estate, certain assets, or whatever. Because the ones that have been hyped, of course, your perception is they're worth a lot more than they really are. So
I don't believe that. I think most people have an idea of what it's worth. They don't want to accept it.
So you know how much it's worth. Accept it then?
For instance, let me give you an example. Suppose you hold real estate. You hold multi-family buildings. You say they're worth $2 million each. Okay, but you really think they're worth $1 million each. If you truly thought they were worth $2 million each, you go out in the market and you buy them all with me.
Okay, so does the market say they're worth $2 million, and I think they're worth $1 million?
No, let's suppose the asking price is $2 million.
Right.
You're asking $2 million.
Right.
And if you really thought they were fairly valued, you'd be buying them up, especially any for 1.9 million, 1.8. But you're not, and the reason you're not is because you know they're not worth it.
You deep down, you don't think that they're worth
not
$2
that
million.
deep down, right below the surface, you know that because you're not buying them.
Okay.
Yeah. If people were
does
really
everybody else
convinced,
think they're worth $2 million? Can you sell it for $2 million at this point?
Is the real estate market moving quickly now?
No.
Multifamily is moving faster, but if you look at the fundamentals behind multifamily, it's because so many people are losing their houses or choosing not to buy, or don't want to buy because they're convinced that housing prices are falling, that they're choosing to rent.
So if I think it's worth $1 million, I understand that. So who thinks it's worth $2 million then?
Nobody thinks it's worth $2 million.
No,
that's why they're not selling.
Okay, but that's not an illusory market then, illusory value. We're all agreeing it's worth $1 million. But if it's $1 million, nothing happens.
Right. So that's what I mean. It's not illusory. Everybody knows how much it's worth, but they're still keeping the asking price at 2. You have to market the market, drop the asking price to 1, then you have economic activity, and money starts to flow back and forth. But you're not going to get economic